Hello everyone, it has been a very long time, about 2 years since I started this channel and only had 3 videos put out in those 2 years. What happened was as soon as I started the channel, I got a lot more responsibility at work. I had a promotion, it was a very good thing, and it took up a lot of my time that I wanted to do this. Now about a year ago, I recorded the footage that you're watching right now. And I wanted to put this out in a different format. I just wasn't happy with the format that I had, and I was really trying to figure out what could I do? What do I like to watch? There are 3 channels that I really enjoy watching all the time, and I watch the whole videos from front to back, and that's really what I wanted to do. And so the first one that I looked at was Mark Crilly. He's an amazing artist, everything from realism to cartoons to manga to he could do anything he wanted to do. And a lot of his videos, he's explaining something or answering questions, and he's drawing something completely different from that subject. And then I went and looked at MD Campbell, Mark Campbell, who has another channel here on YouTube, and he's an amazing artist as well. And he always talks about something else while he's drawing, kind of like what's happening right now. But very rarely does he reference what he's actually doing in the video. And I don't necessarily want to follow that format entirely. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing and some of the things that I'm reviewing or something like that. But I really enjoy his videos. Now there's another gentleman, Peter Draws, and I absolutely love his channel. He's a master at what he does. He really is good. And I'm not trying to copy any of these people. I'm just trying to put out what I enjoy watching. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. What this does is allow you 3 different ways to watch the video. First, you can just watch the video and listen to what I'm saying and maybe be a little entertained while you watch whatever it is I'm drawing or painting or however that works. The second way to watch the video is that you can mute what I'm saying if you're really not interested, and that's okay too. And you can just watch what I'm doing if that's really what you're looking for. And the third way to watch the video is that you can not watch what I'm doing at all and just listen to what I'm saying if by some chance you're interested in something that I'm talking about or you're enjoying the conversation. That would be fine too. I prefer, when I watch these types of videos, to watch the video and also to listen to what they're saying, and many times is useful, helpful, and sometimes just very entertaining. What I didn't want to do is do a speed paint or a speed draw and put it to music, because I really think that has been done to death here on YouTube, and sometimes it's really nice to watch, but sometimes it's a little boring. So with that in mind, before I started recording, I went downstairs and I made myself a cup of coffee, and the coffee's of course very hot right now, but I forgot that I had a cold drink up in my office where I'm recording this. So when I came back up, I now have a cold drink and a hot drink sitting side by side, and this is bothering me because if I drink the cold drink first, the hot coffee will not be hot. If I drink the hot drink first, then when I'm done with that, the cold drink will no longer be cold. And you don't want to go between the two because that's just weird, going from hot to cold to hot. It's just strange. You don't want to do that. I do this way too often. Does anybody else do that? I always forget when I make myself a cup of coffee that I just grabbed a cold drink from the fridge, and I end up doing this maybe a couple of times a week. Okay, so it's not all the time, but it's more than it should ever happen. On a different subject, I want to talk about something, but I don't want it to come off wrong. Look, I appreciate what artists do, and I understand how frustrating sometimes things can be, but there are some very well-known artists and YouTubers that always complain about certain things that I don't really think they should be complaining about so much. I think my biggest pet peeve is when I hear people complain that people are asking them what pen they use or what paper they use or what paint they use, as if somehow they may think that it's discrediting their skill level, but it's not. What's really happening is the person is saying, I'm trying to get a certain result, and I keep trying, and I can't get that result. And so I'm looking to you, who is getting that result, for some inspiration, for some information. Let me give you an example. When I first started out, or getting back into art and drawing and painting, I was starting to use some ink in my watercolor painting. And what I was doing was trying to use brush pens, and I had smooth paper, I had hot press watercolor paper, and I was using a felt tip brush pen. And I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get the dry brush strokes that I saw all these other artists getting. And so I had to do a lot of research and figure out, actually asked a lot of people, and figured out what are they using to get it. And I realized, okay, so I need to use a rougher surface paper and maybe one of those brush pens that have the bristles in them. And then if you swipe it pretty fast because the ink flow dries up a little bit quicker, you get that dry brush effect. And that was very useful to me. And I wasn't saying that, oh, I'm going to be as good of an artist as the person who was doing that. What I was saying was, that I was going to be able to get the result that I wanted because of the information that they provided. And that's really all that is. So I understand that most artists get asked that question probably 100 times per video that they post at least. And I get that. But, maybe just have a little bit of patience with us. We're just trying to figure out what we're doing wrong or what we could do better. And if you really want to avoid it, you could just say, look in the notes for the things that I'm using, or then someone asks you, you can always tell them. Go ahead and look in the notes. And, well, that's about all I have to say about it. Anyway, we can move on from that subject. Right now, the great thing about this is I've already done this. This is in the past. This is a year in the past for me, this particular painting that I'm doing here. And what I'm doing right now is cleaning out water brushes. I have a few of them that are stuck. There's nothing coming out. I turn them upside down, squeeze them, and no water comes out at all. So I went on YouTube and I found a couple of people that were using them and knew how to clean them out. And they said, yeah, do this. So I'm going to do that and see if it works. If you've had that problem before, let me know, because I've never had this problem before. My water brushes have never been stuck, but now they are. And I've got to clean them, because I don't really want to buy new brushes every time they get stuck. And they seem easy enough to clean. Just disassemble it and clean it out. Some people recommend bleach. Some people recommend boiling them in hot water. Some people recommend just cleaning it out and then using a Q-tip to scrub the inside, or some kind of bottle brush, a really small bottle brush, to get in there and just scrub everything out. And I'll do that. And I'll let you know how that works out. At least I think I will. If it doesn't work out and I get angry and maybe I throw it away, then I won't let you know. I won't let you know that I failed. I'm kidding. Sometimes I fail. Most of the time, really. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying this. I hope this is beneficial to you. I hope you're enjoying what you see here. This is line and wash. I love line and wash. I really do. And barns are one of my favorite things to paint, especially around fall, because of all the colors that are all around it. And this barn was actually in a photo reference book that I was looking at, and I changed the landscape and the scenery a little bit, but kind of made it my own. But really, the barn itself was what caught my attention. That's what I wanted to focus on. And I'm using very bright colors here, almost like it's an illustration, not like it's just a watercolor painting. It's very controlled and trying to paint within the lines and nothing splashing everywhere and all over the place. But that's okay. That's what I wanted to do, so that's what I did. And this was done in October of 2019. Actually, this was the only year that I took part in Inktober. And I just don't enjoy those kinds of things. I don't enjoy challenges and art challenges and, only use, cheap garbage and see if you can do a masterpiece. And this is an entirely different subject that I'll probably talk about in another video. But look, if you can afford good art supplies, then you should probably get good art supplies. I hear people say, "Oh, you should be able to create a masterpiece with a 2B pencil," and and it should be a masterpiece. Yeah, you could have good drawing skills, and you can draw whatever you want with a 2B pencil, which is or an HB pencil. There's a lot of people that love that. They say, "Oh, I've created a masterpiece with a HB pencil." It's it's a school pencil. It's what you get in school, and that's what you use. And if you're a really good artist, you should be able to. Well, it's not about that really, because even if you do a great job at drawing and you create a wonderful piece, pushing your values and making your contrast stronger in certain areas with different grades of pencils and things could really improve your art. It could really step you up. So don't buy into that whole nonsense that you should be able to create a masterpiece with Crayola pencils instead of buying Faber-Castells or whatever you choose to buy. Really, the best you can afford is what you should use. And I don't mean where you dump your life savings into it. I just mean the best quality that you can afford on a regular basis, something that you can handle. And if all you have is an HB pencil from school, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You improve your skills the best you can with that, and try and develop form and texture and that kind of stuff. But if you can afford something better, maybe you should try and give it a shot and see how you do with those supplies. Anyway, I just figured I'd talk a little bit and let you know where I am. Here I am. And I'm going to try and do some more of these and hopefully get this going a lot more in the future and do what I can do to keep it going. And hopefully keep you entertained and have you come back to look at some more videos. Hopefully I can think of enough things to talk about that this is going to work. But if you have any kind of ideas and you want to post them below or send me some questions so I can answer those questions, I'd be more than grateful for that. I would love to answer what kind of pen that I'm using right now, and that would be a wonderful thing for me to do. As a matter of fact, why don't I just do that now? So in this video, I'm using Faber-Castell pens, I believe the whole time, and I really like them. The pit liners, what are they called? Pigment liners, I think they're called. They're really great pens. They glide on the page very nicely. And some people like that and some people don't like that. Some people say that they're too slippery or something to that effect. I don't know. I don't think that they're too slippery. I don't think that they're too slippery at all. I think they're just right. I really enjoy them. I've also started using a lot of the Stettler pigment liners, and I like those too. Those are pretty good. They're very comparable to the Pigma Microns, which I also like. Those are the first pens I really started drawing with. And recently I've gotten into drawing with fountain pens, and I really enjoy drawing with fountain pens, mostly because there's so many different kinds of inks that you can use with fountain pens, and usually a pigment liner is just black ink. They do have many that are colored, and that's cool too, but the different fountain pen inks are beautiful. Some of them are great, and most of them are not waterproof. Some of them are, but you just have to just do it however you have to do it with whatever ink you want to use. And I've also recently tried the Rotring or Rotring or however you want to pronounce that, and those are pretty cool too. Technical pens are pretty decent. I think what they do is just make you want to draw because you can get such a precise line and it's consistent the entire time you're drawing. I have a little difficulty with them because I'm very heavy-handed, so I tend to... It feels like I'm scratching the paper all the time, almost like you're drawing with something that's sharp, like a blade or something like that. I think the worst part for me is when I'm trying to fill in an area with a lot of ink, like when I'm adding a spot of pure black. And while I'm filling it in, sometimes I start scratching the paper and I need to make myself stop. I have to ease off a little bit before I ruin everything. It's kind of like a metaphor for my whole life, or maybe just a metaphor for this segment where I just keep rambling about different pens I'm using. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway. Well, I just want to thank you for clicking on the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.